Nell's going to go with Griffiths, Malazinski, and Watkins. Already making a change from last week. Just getting a look in terms of how they work it through. Back into Bradley. Bradley goes back into Wells. Wells has got time. Sees the ice really, really well. Good stand-up play onto the wall. Bolton comes across to the middle. Back into Billings. Billings goes wide. Good save by Marr. Back in behind to Anderson. Anderson's got time. He's going to go wide. Loses the puck all the way through. He'll make a change. Bad change by Anderson. Back to Malazinski. Tees it up. Catches Marr high in the chest. Down into the corner and behind the net for Wells. Picked up the Yantis. Back out to the point for Buess. A good save by Marr on the way through. Now with Bebris and Van der Meraker. And again, not a change, not a player that Nell will play alongside Bebris. But again, Bebris has been on fire the past couple of weeks, just throwing people out of the club down low. Back into Wells, jumps up, and it's a goal for the Swindon Wildcats. 16-15. Wells jumps up into the play. He comes in a bit of stealth mode, but watch how far he comes here. Makes that pass. He's got the green light, goes through, goes over the glove side of Marr. Swindon Wildcats 1, Solway Sharks no score. You can see right from the red line Wells, but look at the gap from the Solway D. Comes off the boards into Young, goes back through the neutral zone, back across into Jones. Nice hands across to Billings. Back to Jones over the shoulder. Goal for the Swindon Wildcats, 15-52. Chris Jones, bit of double bubble there, right back and forth between those two teams. As you work it through, nothing really happened here. Bad turnover through the neutral zone, but it's a give and go right back. Bolton gets turned, catches Marr over the shoulder. You get a good look right now. As you come back, as it works through, Bolton loses his man on the far side. Not a lot there for Jones, but back at the Van der Meraker. Van der Meraker up onto the red line. Now the blue line goes wide. Turns around and Danskin looking for that wraparound. Off the skates. Swindon Wildcats. Goal for Van der Meraker at 13:40 on the clock. And behind the net. He gets Danskin turned right now, but he says he doesn't have an option. Doesn't have through, but he let that play off the shin pad. And it goes in. You got a great look in behind the net. Not a lot on. As Van der Meraker comes wide, no option there, but he just takes a bit of a punt. He's going to go through the slot. Good coverage on the back end by Kerr. Back to Van der Meraker. He's going off that play. Comes back out to the point to Bebris. Good save from Marr. Buess on the blue line. Tries to go wide. Back into Wells. Wells goes up tight up to Malazinski. Malazinski goes wide. Malazinski. Good save from Marr. Long stretch pass from Stewart across into Yantis. Yantis at the red line. He's going to drive it wide. Comes back through into the middle looking for that drop pass. Back to Van der Meraker. Van der Meraker at the blue line. He's going to go wide in that toe drag. He takes it wide. Bit of Willie Nylander on that play. Comes back into Smith. Smith plays wide. Down on the far side. Comes back through the middle to O'Connor. Nice step play wide. Back to O'Connor. Good save by Marr. Goes back through the middle, comes across on this far side, back to Hamill. Good save by Marr, off the skate of Plews. Back in behind the net for Godfrey. Godfrey's going to take his time. He'll go off the boards, give me an icing call. Waved off by Stanley. Still down into Jones. Jones goes wide, looking for that play to Dylan Lipsey. Good pickup on the way in. But Bradley's going to follow up. Coulter lets it go through his skates, back into Lipsey. Back into Bradley, across into Wells. Through the net to Dylan Lipsey. He's paying rent in front of that net. Goal for the Swindon Wildcats. 8:44. As you come right through on the far side, look where Dylan Lipsey comes. He goes in the corner. Now he comes through the slot. Nobody picks him up on that play. You got a great look from the GoPro. Lipsey down here. Ryan Wells to the point. Ryan Wells sees where the gap is. You could drive a bus through there. Goes back into Boyd, back into Shaw. Nice dish from Shaw, back into Lipsey. Down into Shaw. Shaw's got time and it goes wide. Marr makes that save. 8:23 on the clock. As they get ready on the face-off, Griffiths again up against Stewart. Back into Griffiths, back into Bradley. Buessa coming through. Marr lets that one go wide, but it took a funny bounce off the inside of his blocker. The drop down low, but he's picked up well by BT on the far side. Back to Wells, back to O'Connor. Gets it through. Good save from Marr. Back into Wells and behind the net. It's got Griffiths back into Wells. Wells goes across into O'Connor. O'Connor gets it through off the glove of Marr. Back into Wells, down to O'Connor. Marr will take that whistle. Quick trigger finger by Tim Pickett. Back to the middle for Johnson's got Shaw on the far side. Down for Shaw. Shaw's got time, drops it back. Back to Godfrey, tees it up, deflected on the way in. Good save by Marr. They come wide, Buesa high. Buesa follows that play up, goes wide. Good work from Buesa here on that pass from Spears. As they work it wide, back into Shaw. Shaw looking for that dish, and it goes through the legs of Marr, but it got in behind him. Get the look on the replay as it comes through onto Marr. As they drop it back into the point, you can see what Marr does. He gets set, plays well in front of traffic, good down, using that size really well. Back into Bebris, back into O'Connor, drives it through. Marr makes that save, big rebound in front, comes across into Bolton. The referee comes across the middle into Anderson. Anderson goes wide, picks up that loose puck. Anderson on the play, down low, looking for the wraparound here. Good play from Anderson. Wesson looking for that chip and go, just trying to get on the shoulder of the Wildcats defense. Anything in the offensive zone. Back down to Malazinski. Malazinski looking for the wraparound. Back in the front of that net, and that's Josh Shaw. Goal for the Swindon Wildcats at 2:42. Front of the net, and that's where he's really good. He's got to come a long way right now. Follows it through, and again, nobody picks him up in the defensive zone. We've got a great look here. In behind the net, you can see Shaw. He comes from the bench. You got red line, then you got blue line. No pickup there, and he puts that one away. 2:42 remaining in this second period. Back in behind the net for Vanden Maraka. Wraps it around. Yantis can't pick up that loose puck. Back into Stenton. Stenton on that play. Back into O'Connor. O'Connor's got time. Goes across into Bebris. Bebris on the blue line. Across into Nell. Nell goes through into the net. Marl slow things down at 1:31 remaining in this first period. Jones looking for that chip and go. They got three right now. Back across into Jones. Across to O'Connor. O'Connor back in front. Good save by Marr. But look at this three-way passing play. You got one pass right now. Now O'Connor jumps up into play. Gets it through looking for the return. Keep up the momentum they've got right now, but no doubt Solway will respond in this second period. Goes back out at the point, goes back into the far side for BT. He takes his time. Back into Malazinski, back into Wells. Tees it up, good save from Hepburn. Back into Malazinski, looking for Griffiths down low. He's got Vanden Maraka. Vanden Maraka has that puck. He goes down into the corner. Looking for the wraparound high side. Play goes wide. Good save from Hepburn. Got his blocker on it. Picked up by Jones on the wraparound. Give him an icing call. Icing waved off by George. Long stretch pass. Put a bit of pressure on Stenton on that play. Just chase that puck down. Looking in behind the net for Bullis on the wraparound. Good play. And that's in behind the net. Goal for the Swindon Wildcats. 17:54. Come off the bench. As they work it through, Jones just comes short side. Hepburn can't get across on that play, but he's focusing on the shooter. You watch Jones come around on the far side. Nobody picks him up defensively. Comes wide. Swindon Wildcats. Goes back into Anderson. He stood up at the line. Good defensive play from Tyler Plews. Back into Johnson. Johnson snipes it through. Comes back into Hepburn. Makes that save. Back into Hamill. Hamill one-on-one. Good shot. Good save by BCL on that play on the way in. Back out to O'Connor. O'Connor goes wide to Vanden Maraka. He takes a bit of time. Back into O'Connor. Switches the play back into Wells. Back to O'Connor. O'Connor walks the blue line. Back to Vanden Maraka. Looked like it was tipped in. Goal for the Swindon Wildcats. 13:58 on the clock. As they work it around right now, they're looking for Vanden Maraka, but look at the net presence. You got Griffiths and you got Bebris. Looks like Griffiths at the line. Swindon break free, 2-on-1. Lipsy and Shaw. Lipsy. Good save by Hepburn. Onto Bradley, back into Wells. Wells up onto the red line. Good chip and go from Bullis. Back into Jones. They got Bradley jumping up into play if he can. Back into Jones. Jones has got Wells. Wells tees it up. Big rebound in front. Goal for the Swindon Wildcats. 12:29 on the clock. Glenn Billing in front of the net, paying rent. One to keep saying from the Wildcats. Shots, shots, shots. You got to take chances. Shot on net, big rebound, but it's a net presence that's there, and Glenn Billings puts that one away. You can see when he comes through the middle here, nobody picks him up through the front of the net. As it goes wide, Callum Boyd gets turned. Back across into Griffiths. He loses his skate, closed down by Buessa. Goes through the middle, good hands from Plews, good transition. Griffiths and Malazinski. Griffiths on the backhand, back to Malazinski. Good save from Hepburn. Comes through the middle, back into Watkins. Watkins across to Malazinski. Griffiths on the end, and he's got Malazinski in a slot. Malazinski gets it wide. Good save from Hepburn. You'll see on the way in, if you watch Owen Griffiths on the puck, that play right now, as soon as he goes wide, he gets that little bit of space. Nobody picks up Malazinski. Come back into Watkins. Watkins up at the top of the circle. Good save from Hepburn on the way in. Hedges it onto the stick of Young. Young comes across into the middle of the ice looking for Nell. Back into Smith. Yantis one-on-one on Clark Leach. Yantis one-on-one. Good score. It's goal for the Solway Sharks. 4:18. Yantis all alone, but it's that turnover at the red line. No one's really near you. You turn the puck over at the blue line. Yantis one-on-one. Puts that one away. 4:18 on the clock. Swindon Wildcats 8. Solway Sharks 1. But it's that turnover at that blue line. You kind of lull yourself into this false sense of security. The blue line is looked like it caught the glove of Hepburn on the way in. Back up to Malazinski. Good save from Hepburn on the way through. He's a big goaltender, Callum Hepburn. Doesn't need to do an awful lot of movement in that net. Wildcats have been good tonight, but what they got to do is just make sure they get the momentum. No mistakes that they have to make. Back into Malazinski. Malazinski goes wide. Looking to dish it back into Watkins. Watkins got time. Watkins off the bar. Back through the middle for Young. Plays it down into the corner. Back into O'Connor. Spears takes his space away. Back into Bebris. Back to Van der Meracker. He's got the space. Goal for the Swindon Wildcats. 18:48. Logan Van der Meracker goes wide. They take that space away. And as a defender right now, this is where you're in trouble. When you're even and you give the shooter that little bit, but Callum Hepburn will want that play back. Just came across a bit too far on his glove side. Right now, Bolton's saying, job done. Nothing's going to happen here. But as Hepburn comes across his crease, into Plews. Plews up at the red line. One-on-one, dishes it across to Billings. Billings has got time at the point. Back into Bullis. Back down into the corner, picked up on his far side as they get it through into the net. They're working through, good save, big rebound. Clark Leach with a big glove save. It's about the reaction play. You got Clark Leach set up well, but it's a secondary save. He makes the shot, now he gets the cross. It's that goaltender ability. Back into Danskin. Danskin looking for Caruth. Caruth just got too deep on that play. Goes back through the middle into Young as Solway make a line change. Comes back across the middle. Back into Bradley across to Watkins. Big opening in the slot to Wells. Goal for the Swindon Wildcats, and then put double digits on the board. This play developing right now. You know exactly what's going to happen. Watkins is looking for Wells as he comes off the bench. Goes wide, short side, but it's the play from Watkins. Wells comes long skate right now, but he sees the play developing. He's done it twice. Threw into the slot. Just looking to regroup. Swindon now back to 5-on-5. Goes wide. Good finish. Good save from Clark Leach on that transition play from Caruth across to Boyd. Comes across as it works it through. Clark Leach follows the play. Nobody picks up Caruth, but what Caruth does, that little bit of a hesitation, dishes it across into Boyd. Back out to the point, comes through into Stewart. Stewart's got options. Danskin on the far side. Good save from Clark Leach. Comes across through into Stewart. Big pressure here from Solway, but they come through back into Shaw. Bradley's back on the boards, and that's going to bring an end to this game at the Link Center. Swindon Wildcats 10, Solway Sharks 1. Wildcats, good value tonight in terms of how they played.